Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fiscal Talk. Today, we're talking about something completely different from what we've been discussing in our previous episodes. My name is Anna Bosnjak, and I'm a marketing assistant at Fiscal Solutions. And my guest today is Tara Nedeljkovic, who is a legal consultant at Fiscal Solutions. As I previously said, today we're talking about something totally different, and we are actually discussing this fiscalization in Africa. So, why Africa? Well, firstly, because Africa is a fast growing market. It's very interesting for retailers. And now Tara is going to tell us more about fiscalization in Africa. Tara, welcome. What do you have to say to us about fiscal systems in Africa?
Thank you, Anna. Thank you for this great introduction, and thank you for having me once again in our fiscal talks. So, just like you mentioned, yes, Africa is really interesting field for us, and African fiscal countries have become quite interesting. So we will start with this fiscal talk, and in the beginning, I will say that in the last 5 to 10 years, there were quite a few fiscal countries in Africa that have chosen to introduce tax control mechanisms and that actually have started to implement fiscalization into their overall legal systems. And currently, we can say that there are 19 fiscal countries with this number actually growing every year, and the trend becoming to more and more countries have started to implement fiscalization. So the first countries that have started this process in Africa, we can say they are still amongst the new fiscalizations when compared to different systems all around the world, especially to many European countries. As for these African countries, many of them have introduced fiscalization, but in that process, they have opted for some sort of software or online focused systems with the emphasis on the online communication with the tax authority and with the accent of these digitalization processes. This is not, of course, a strict rule, rather a generalization based on statistical overview of different fiscal countries on this continent. Another interesting fact is that some of these countries that have just recently introduced digitalization in tax area overall, but still they have chosen to focus on creating more flexible fiscal systems for the traders who sell goods and provide services there, meaning that they focused mostly on software solutions or some combination of online and software solutions.
And are these fiscal systems actually similar to some older systems in, I don't know, Europe, for example? Are there some patterns that we can distinguish?
Yes, so that is a really interesting question, Anna. So yes, the answer is yes. Certain legislators of some of the African countries, of course, have looked up to other European fiscal countries' lawmakers as an example for creating the basis of their own fiscal systems. So, for instance, Kenya. Kenya is one of the first countries on African continent that has actually introduced fiscalization as a country, but also has created the fiscal system while modeling the already existing fiscal system in Greece. Since Greece has a very long-lasting fiscalization since 1988, but in 2008, when Kenya introduced their own fiscal system, the main model that they used was the fiscalization that existed then in Greece. Also, even though there are many of the fiscal countries with fiscal systems that already are in full practice, there are also a few that are particularly interesting to dive into, and here we will start with one of those countries. So the first fiscal country that I will introduce in a short overview here is Ghana. Ghana has been a fast-growing market in Africa with a strong appeal for many taxpayers, from smaller companies to medium-sized and larger retailers. And Ghana is especially interesting due to the novelties that have started a few years ago there, where the first fiscalization-related law got introduced in the middle of 2018. And in that time, so then that was the time when the first law was published, but later on, with many amendments and novelties, began the start of introduction of fiscalization systems to different categories of taxpayers in Ghana. And after the 2018, there were different, we can say, speculations on when the fiscalization system will be introduced in practice for all of the taxpayers. And these deadlines have been confirmed in the second half of 2022, with currently an ongoing process of introduction of the new EVAT system for all taxpayers. That is how they call the fiscalization system. And that is going to happen during this year and in the beginning of 2024 for certain categories of taxpayers. So from the standpoint of comparison to other fiscal systems, Ghana, we can say, is introducing a quite modern fiscalization and is becoming very appealing to many companies who want to expand their businesses to this part of the world as well, be it if they're smaller or bigger companies. And what is interesting is that it has a specific type of fiscalization, so a combination of online and software type, and with the main focus and emphasis on the digitalization and being able to issue a receipt to customers that is done through established communication with the tax authorities in Ghana, which is called the Ghana Revenue Authority, or shorter, the GRA.
Thank you, Tara, so much for this quick overview. I want to thank you all for watching, and of course to invite you to the next episode of Fiscal Talk, where we will cover some more African countries and their fiscal systems. For more information about fiscalization, visit our fiscal portal, and if you have any questions, any additional questions, please contact us at marketing@fiscalsolutions.com, and we will see you next time in the next episode of Fiscal Talk. Bye.
Bye, everyone.